Okay, testing audio, testing for audio. I have a method. Okay, everything seems to be okay. Got to go to. Okay, no, the chat's right there. All is good. I think. If there are any audio issues, please let me know as soon as possible. I will rectify them best I can as soon as I can, but I don't know unless I am told. So please tell me. That being said, this will be a quick, very brief video tutorial as to how to do the tacos, TAs, time attacks, such as Lilipa, um, mostly Lilipa, honestly, because that seems to be the one that honestly no, that is the one that causes the most problems because that is one of the two TAs. If done incorrectly, it will take a very long ass time, and it's not fun. Nobody really wants to do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys how to do that solo, and at the same time I'll explain what you would do in a party. So for simplicity's sake, I'm gonna do this on hero. I highly recommend that while you're doing your TAs, you get yourself a pair of all-class jet boots. Double jumping is extraordinarily useful, and yeah, it's good stuff. So I'm going to start off by doing this as a level 50 hero. Naturally, you need to be level 50 to fully abuse tacos. By tacos, I mean time attack client orders. And yes, this does include extreme quests because Clotho is the time attack guy. Therefore, everything on his list pertains to money, except for like 2 COs. So when I say TAs, I'm referring to the whole package. Make sure you have everything. You're going to need that if you're going to TA. This is mostly, this video is mostly, or this stream rather, is mostly for the teamies that don't know how to TA. Learning how to TA is definitely useful. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do this on. Actually, I'm gonna do this on super. Fuck it, I'll do it on super hard. Just because I feel like it. This is incredibly easy to do if you have A, jet boots, or B, a hero class. Specifically because jet boots gets you high enough so that you can, you basically can step dash all the way to the above the laser beams. Because the lasers basically trigger off all sorts of traps, and traps fucking suck. So ideally, you'll want to have 2 people. This is very easy. This is very easy to do with 1 person. If you have the hero class, it is absolutely a breeze to do it on 1 person, specifically because you have the best dash abilities of all of the classes. Alternatively, if you have Braver, it's also doable. It's also doable to do solo, specifically because Asagiri or whatever, I can't remember its name. Asagiri Rendan, I think. That one will let you also dash in a straight line without forcing your attack to lock onto an opponent. It'll let you just go in a perfectly straight line, and it's a pretty fast ability. I believe it's got a low mana cost, so that is very useful. I am doing this with a controller. I don't remember all the default keys because I've completely mapped out my keyboard to do basically everything that the normal game probably does not do. Make sure that you're stocked up on heals if you're not a magic class. And without further ado, let's get started. So, ideally, I'm going to teach you how to do this without saying a word or without saying too much to your teammates. Like I said, ideally, you're going to want to have at least 2 people. You don't need it, but like having 2 people would be the best. If you see someone going towards one area, go towards the other, and I'll explain what I mean in a second. So here, first things first, it's pretty simple. Kill everything. Get out of the blast radius. Take out the stragglers. Here, you must not pass this darkened line right here, because the second you do, you're going to spawn a really hefty amount of mobs, and you don't want to deal with that, so we're just going to go ahead and shoot it from a distance. Worst case scenario, make sure that you have a gun slash on you at least. An all-class rifle would be preferred. When you get to this part, completely ignore the switch and focus on breaking this. Because the thing is that this thing generates enemies, as you could see. The reason why I took my time was because I wanted to show it generate enemies. And it'll basically just generate enemies for a little while, and then it'll disappear on its own. And it shaves off a bit of time from your time attack. Time attacks were originally designed to be a speed test, and they had like awards. It was basically like an Arcs League kind of thing back in the day. They were called interrupt rankings, and the faster you could do them, either solo or with a team, with a party, depending on what the interrupt ranking required you, the better rewards you got. So the reason why you want to go after the barriers first, the strongest character goes after the barriers first to kill the mobs, just so the rest of the party doesn't have to get delayed by anything. So this next part, there will be one person who goes there, over yonder, and then everyone else will go there. So first, I'm going to go ahead and go here. I'm not too strong right now, so it takes me a little longer to do that. The second you do this, you're going to want to go off to the little side here, don't come off. Blast that until it's complete. Once that's done, we're going to go over here. Now this assumes that you're solo. If you're not solo and you're going here, you're going to go here right away. You're going to deal with the mobs here, and then you're going to go here. This will prevent, because this is actually a really important step, not for you, but for the rest of your party. If you ever get caught in this thing, when he grabs you, you basically, I rotate my movement basically, and it may or may not release you. When it comes to a Gilness, it will release you, but if it's like a Gwanda, for instance, you're fucked. The only way you can get out of that is if a party member forces it to reveal its weak point or kills it. My mag has done that at one point. It saved me by killing the enemy. It's pretty nice. Fuck out. Those are dead, those are dead. So instead of going after the switch, 3 enemies are going to spawn here, so you want to kill them first. Once you kill them, go ahead, hit the switch here. Now, back in the day, what we would do is once we kill these specific mobs here, we'd hit the switch and then we'd go back. But now it's, thanks to Hero, it's a lot easier to just continue going forward. So we're going to go forward, get the fuck out, keep blast from the side. And then we're going to go ahead, blast those things, keep going straight, just dash forward. A Gilness is going to appear here. 2 or more people can make short work of it. It's going to spawn a second wave. Go ahead and figure out where he is. There that is. Kill it. Once that's done, the gate over there is going to collapse. And because of the fact that the third or the one-off player that went north, because of the one-off player that went north, hitting that switch, that that barrier automatically disables itself. And because of the fact that it disables itself, this barrier right here will open. Not this barrier. Sorry. I mean, hold on. I'll explain in a second. So what happens is if there's an enemy over there, you will not be able to proceed here. So the thing is that that switch prevents the barrier from activating. So if we went all the way over there without hitting that switch, that barrier would trigger with or without us realizing it. And by the time we kill that, we're wasting valuable time because there's an enemy over there that spawned and we have not dealt with it. So that's why the one-of player goes over here, hits that green switch right there, so that we can proceed to go forward. Because by the time that he's done with that section, he will be ready. He can just immediately go up, come over here, deal with that barrier, and we can reconvene with him. It's all about, it's basically about not reading each other's thoughts, but like doing everything at the same time without words, without the necessity to speak. So basically, what you want to do is you want to telegraph what you're going to do in advance. So I'm going to redo this on normal after this, just to like cover all bases again, because this is a lot of information to take in. So the strongest player or the fastest / strongest player will gun towards the barrier, while everyone else will mash the switch. This ensures that we can do absolutely everything simultaneously and as fast as possible. Then after all players reconvene here, and here we kill everything. This place is a bit tricky. Well, this place is like a little bit annoying to hit enemies because of the hitboxes. They're not really forgiving here. And like some enemies can like hide over here, and attacks that should normally reach it logically won't. So at this point, 3 people go there and 1 person goes here, presumably the fastest and strongest. Actually, for here you only really need the fastest person, because here you only get like weak mobs that spawn here. Then you want to make your way over here. You'll notice that it's all clear, but the second you activate this switch, mobs will drop. So over here it's 1 wave, and on the other side over here there's 2 waves. By that I mean in total. So next you're going to reconvene with the 3 over there. What that switch does is it not only disables the barrier protecting the bombs, but it also calls in that arc ship right here. So this gunship is going to help us attack the enemies, and it does lay down the smackdown. So this provides a lot of assistance because, like, especially if you're solo, that will attack the things over there, so you can deal with the things over here. And as you can see, it's doing like 1,000 damage. It's doing a pretty decent amount of damage, especially since it's a Gatling gun. And unlike normal, this guy won't crash on you. So he'll help you for a good little bit. So there are mobs over there. Thankfully, being a hero, I can hit it from a distance. I remember there was someone who was asking me why I did Naberius 1 on super hard. I do that specifically because that's a place where everything spawns around you. So SH forces them all to run exactly to you, so you can stand in one place and just crowd control them. In addition, every other section of the map, like, it has limited to no enemies, or not no enemies, but like you have to fight like a rock bear, which honestly at any difficulty is easy as fuck. And then you gotta fight like a bunch of like low tier mobs at SH, which is not even a bunch. It's more like just like a few, which is honestly a lot more preferable than fighting that fucking Chironian fucking turd face that's protected by his giant fucking mouse wheel or hamster wheel. So honestly, like, SH Naberius is a lot more preferable, especially since we have Dark Blast. Okay, at this particular point in time, while the party members are running towards this tower, this is where you telegraph whether you were going north or east. The thing is that if you have no ability to stick to the sky, by stick to the sky I mean either do this, which honestly I would prefer if you had. I would prefer if you're a hero. I would prefer if you had TMGs because these guys can stick to the sky better, as you can see here. If you are able to do this, you are vital to this next part. If you are not able to stick to the sky like this, and you don't know the lasers, you can't predict the lasers very easily, I highly suggest you just stay put. Because if you make that one mistake and you ruin it for the rest of the party, you're gonna make the party's life a hell of a lot more difficult. And they shouldn't be pissed off at you, but they're gonna be salty in general. So if you want to avoid that kind of stress, it would be better off if you stuck in the middle. Sure, you're making the other people do a bit more, but if they know what they're doing, it'll be a lot shorter in the long run. So I generally go north. I'm just used to it because like for some reason everyone likes taking the harder route. But when you're going solo, you have to do both. So when you're going solo, it's a bit different. First things first, this is standard. We make our way to the top over here, kill all these things, and this is where the path diverges. So we're gonna take the harder route first. So if you're like nowhere near hero and you really want to get to this part, then I will run this normally. So you're gonna go here. You know, this part is really simple. You just avoid it. If you have like a sword, if you're a hunter and you have the modified sacrifice bite, then you'll be able to basically just do this around. It's easier to just like hop around because the more you jump, like if you jump, you're not affected by the pull, so you basically just go like wee wee wee. And if you're gonna go under the laser, then go back a bit, dash forward, oh, it's going down, dash forward, up, hold on, dash forward. Never try to jump over it. If you try to jump over it, you're setting yourself up for a disaster. So I'm gonna do this the hard way, just to show you guys. So this part's a little bit more. Okay, it's going up, dash. This part's a little tricky. Adjust your camera a bit, run forward, and then we're past. It's very vital that you avoid those lasers, because those lasers add a fuck ton of time to your game, or to your mission. Kill the gill nest as soon as possible, because since we avoided all of the lasers, he will jump onto this and he will go towards the lasers, and you just do not want to deal with that. Gill nest is a fuck turret here. Okay, so once you clear these two, your job is not done. This little teleport thing will open. This is only necessary for solo players. Absolutely necessary for solo players. You must go here. Do not go there. Do not do nothing else yet. Go here. Because now we have to clear this part. I'm just doing this for fun. You don't have to do that. I just like seeing how high I can go. Because you're going to have to drop down here eventually to kill these so you can proceed. Once that's done, you're gonna get ready to kiss the sky again. So you're gonna jump up here. You can do this from there too, but if you want to be like absolutely safe, then or either absolutely safe or you have a ton of PP, then go here. Whoops, hold on. Okay. Skip all those lasers. Kill these guys. If you have a gun, you're gonna be so happy because then you can deal with the guys that went there without having to go back onto the belt. So we're done here. These lasers are pretty darn simple. We're gonna skip them anyways because fuck lasers. Gun these down. Okay, so these lasers, I forgot to mention, but these lasers, like the first lasers you encounter on the second part of the belt, they stop halfway and then go backwards. So you'll see here, stop halfway, go back, stop, go back. So these guys go, but they don't do a full rotation. They stop and then go back. So that can get tricky. You could also use these. If you want a bit more higher ground and you don't feel comfortable with the double jump, you can just use those two. Make sure you reload a lot if you're using hero, because you don't want to be caught with your pants down and no ammo. Or maybe you do. Maybe that's your kind of thing, but when it comes to Lilipa, it's not my thing. Go ahead and laser the fuck out of this guy. Oh, I ran out of ammo. That's a time killer right there. That's a massive time consumption. Okay, so now that we've done this, you'll notice that the red gate that was formerly right there is now gone. This is very important. You have to spawn both of these telepipes in order to make sure that red gate is gone. This is essential for the solo player, because the solo player has absolutely no time to waste. The solo player, the person who goes north, must be the fastest player on the party, bar none. He must be able to do anything at max speed. Okay, so the second I get my foot off of this button, this is when I need to start going and I cannot stop. So right now I have an abysmal amount of PP. I only have 120. I can still make it work, but I have to be fast and I have to reload constantly. So first, double jump, and then proceed. Reload. 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 Here's why sticking to the sky is extremely important. I just saved myself a fuck ton of time by sticking to the sky. Here, you absolutely do not want to run out of PP. Here you're going to have to play around a little bit. Go straight to these buttons. You have a very severely limited amount of time to hit these buttons. But once they're both hit, that's when the entire party is safe. This is when you can relax. Oh shit. What? Yeah. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about me. Those will run out, but that's fine. As long as you hit both of them, as long as both of them go green once, this jump pad will spawn, and once that does, you are safe. Everyone can relax. There is no possible method of fucking up. But the person who goes north, and whoever is solo, honestly, if the person who goes north has to be extremely fast if they're going solo. If they're not going solo, then at that point, it's just a matter of being ready. So if you guys are not comfortable, then I suggest that the person who goes north steps on the switch but does not move until the other person goes over here and, you know, just makes his way on his own pace and then goes here. Once the two of them are there, then optionally, the third player can go and wait over yonder where I hit those two switches. And then everyone can just go like, everyone can just put R for ready or go. As simple as that. And once they do that, everyone then proceeds to move, and everything is perfectly safe. Everything is no problem. But if you guys are really, or if one of you is really experienced and you're just used to just immediately going, then I would suggest that the person who has the most experience go there, because at least they will be able to get there on time without causing any massive delays. And the person who goes north, their job is simultaneously the easiest and the hardest. If they're going solo, it's the hardest because they have to be extraordinarily fast. If they're not going solo, then they're fine. So for shits and giggles, my favorite thing to do is Dark Blast here. Now, here's an important thing. You need to stick to the middle of the map. If you do not stick to the middle of the map and you go too far off, you'll start spawning everything. You'll spawn a fuck ton of mobs. This is great if you want to level up Dark Blast, because as you can imagine, Dark Blast goes for kills. Like the more kills you get, the more XP you get. See, like all this XP counts towards my Dark Blast. And for every kill you get in Dark Blast, you're gaining XP. So if you need to grind towards Ultimate Impact or whatever, like, this is what you want to do. But if you just want to end it as quickly as possible, or you don't have Dark Blast ready for some reason, or you don't want to do it or whatever, then stick to the middle of the map. So like this square, like your limit is pretty much like the confines of this, like right here. Like these 4 squares right here. These are your limits. Like you don't want to go past that. So I'm gonna do this one more time on normal, just to make sure, just to like go over it, because like I said, it's a lot of information. It's a lot to take in, and it does require a lot of practice. Even after the 2 explanations, there's a possibility that you won't get everything. There's a possibility you'll miss a few things, which is why I'm gonna go again slowly. I did the detailed explanations for everything right away. I'm gonna do this normal, one more sweep, proper, and then I'm going to do one more normal as a fuck up to show you what you have to do in case you fuck up. Because if you fuck up and you don't know what to do, when you fuck up, this quest becomes infinitely harder and it becomes a massive pain in the ass, especially if you don't know what to do. And trust me, like it gets far more intense with the lasers and the things that you gotta do, and you gotta hit all kinds of switches and stuff like that. It's a pain in the ass. So I'm gonna show you one more time properly how it's done, with less detail than I did the first time. Then I'm gonna do one time with everything fucked up. So if you guys have any questions before I run through the second run, I will pay attention to the chat for about 2 minutes, and I will answer your questions before we do the second run. After the second run, I will check one more time to see if everything is good, if you guys understand everything, if everything was clear, and if it is, I'll show you what to do when somebody, or when it doesn't go the party's way. So, any questions? Yeah, the area 2, I'll go through it again. The area 2, is there anything in particular that you didn't get about the area 2? Okay, so that part I'll get into. Oh fuck, I thought I disconnected for a second. Yeah, I don't care about that dragon right now. Okay, so when I get to area 2, I'll go ahead and I'll explain it once more in detail, in like medium detail. But basically, once you get, the second you spawn in area 2, you go up the ramp and you kill those little shits there. The party, it depends on what the party is. So let's say we have a 4-man party, okay? So let's say we have 2 heroes, 1 bouncer, and 1 hunter. The hunter is at a severe disadvantage here, especially if he does not have Sacrifice Bite crafted, because then his dash attack is a kick, and it kind of like, it doesn't propel him forward enough. So the best thing for the hunter to do is to stay in that intersection, just stop moving, stay right there, and let the other 3 do their job. Now, the bouncer also is better off than the hunter, but he's also not the most optimal person to do it. Of course, if everyone is level 75, there's no problems. You can all breeze through it, no problem. The hunter ideally should stay there, but if you're going solo and you've been practicing and you have a feel for dodging the lasers, then the hunter can go along with you, no problem. So the second you spawn, before you even get to area 2, while you're running towards the tower that gets you to area 2, you should declare which direction you're going. So 1 person goes north. This is a fact. This is always the case. 1 person goes north. The only time 2 people ever goes north is if you have to send someone who may be considered underqualified north. If that's the case, you send 2 people. You send 2 people north, presumably, hopefully, 2 people who are capable of avoiding the lasers. If they cannot, at the very least, as long as they stick together, they will be able to take on the multitude of additional mobs together more efficiently. but otherwise, like if the person knows what they're doing, if they're fully confident, if they're like, yeah, no problem, I got this, I'm going north. You guys, everyone else goes left. Right, sorry, because right is the easiest place to fuck up. If you trip, like it's easy to trip a wire going right, and if you trip a wire, it's gonna spawn a plethora of mobs, and it's gonna suck for everyone. So if you have 3 people, you can handle it relatively quickly. The idea is speed is everything. So now we're gonna go into it. We're gonna go into the second time, and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it as fast as I possibly can, while just to show you exactly how it's done. So I'm gonna switch to twin machine guns right quick. Actually, I'm not gonna do it as fast as possible, so I'm just gonna like do a normal run. Double jump, ignite the bombs right quick, just so I don't gotta deal with it later. Those are done. Kill these bastards. Kill this guy that's opened. Stop right here. Just get close enough to target that. It goes green. We turn around. Proceed. I'm gonna switch to sword because I want damage. Blow it up right quick. There's only one mob. Go back. Mash that. Hit this switch right here. Proceed forward. Kill everything here. Come on, spawn. There we go. Kill everything here. Blow this up. Kill this thing. Hit the switch. Go here. This is for the solo run, by the way. This is a solo run. I will also put this video on YouTube and send a link, so this way you can keep an eye on. This way you can watch it again and study it. So now once that's done, you gotta go here. Naturally, it's literally 2 times faster if you have multiple people. Mobs are gonna spawn there. Gonna go ahead, stab them all right quick, run away. Stab these all right quick, run away. Fuck the switch. Kill these bastards, go for the switch. Click the switch, proceed. Kill these guys. Kill these guys. Make sure that you didn't leave anything behind. One shot that. Kill that. Proceed forward. Fuck the switch. Hit that. Go back up here. Now, generally, the person who went north where I fought that Gilness over here to press that switch, he will climb up here, fuck the switch, kill the barrier, and by the time he kills the barrier, the other 3 party members that are coming from here will be working on the switch. So that way, all he has to do, the guy who went north, all he has to do, and when I say north, I'm talking about like the little mini-map on the top right of my screen. It's always static. I have it static so it doesn't turn, doesn't rotate. So that's always north. So the guy that goes north is going to go ahead, click here, and then immediately fuck off over here. And by the time he does that, the other 3 will be on their way here. So then the one guy who went north will then proceed to go here. So by the time the 3 people go here and deal with that, he'll click that. So basically, the guy who goes north is supposed to be the strongest and the fastest. Next, he's going to drop straight down here, and he's going to get his head start on killing everything. And that's when the other 3 guys convene. They join, and they fight. The guy who went north will then move here. This is completely optional, by the way. You don't even have to do this. The 3 people will continue to go that way, but you don't even have to do this. The only reason I do this is because I feel like it makes my life a little bit easier in the long run. I do this even solo because, like, the thing is that a lot of my attacks get blocked by those barriers that protect the bombs. So it's a real piss off. So while it protects me from dying from bombs, it also really inconveniences me. So what I do is I make a point to ignite the bombs and then get the fuck out. And then once I do, I go right back in. Ignite the bombs. If you do 2 hits, if you feel like you've done 2 hits on the bombs, if you even remotely suspect that you've hit a bomb more than once, get the fuck out. It's that simple. Hit the bomb twice, GTFO, blows everything up, and then you proceed to kill this thing. I stabbed it, run away, boom. And one more. Gilna spawns. Smack that in the face, smack that in the face. So while the Gilna's core is doing that little like lagging teleport thing, it's untargetable. So at that point, you just want to like hit the main, like the legs and stuff, and it'll become targetable eventually. So at this point right here, at this particular point in time, this is when, assuming that you're in a bigger party, you declare where you want to go. So north, if you're in a party, north is a fast person, not the fastest, but a fast person. The strongest and fastest will go right. But since I'm solo, I do both. I'm going to start off by going right. Because the thing is that north is the one place, once you go north and you're alone, you have to be the wind. So first things first, everyone will come up here, kill everything here. This is when the people who have 0 confidence in their ability to make it without fucking up will stay. At this very circle right here, they sit the fuck down and they just wave to the camera, do nothing. They just stay. It sucks. I most agree, it sucks. But it's gonna suck so much more if you done fuck up. So we're gonna go here. So because I'm gonna do it perfect, I'm gonna do double jump. As you can see, they can't reach me. So here we're done. So I'm going to continue on. Swap over here. Reload right quick. That's done. I'm going to go ahead, jump up here, jump up here, jump up here. Because why not? I can. Don't worry. Oh! You see, you gotta make sure to reload, because if you forget to reload, you're gonna be stuck. Alright, so now that I'm stuck, I can just double jump again because I'm a hero, I give no fucks, and I can just continue. Just do the just reload so that like you don't have to, so you'll gain, if you do a just reload, basically just in time timing, you gain 40 PP. So that's more than enough to pay for 1.5, more or less. Okay, so once you kill the Gilna's core, the teleport will spawn. You're going solo, so we gotta go back. If you're in a team, you can just straight up ignore that. By team, I mean a party. 2 little shits will spawn, kill those. Speed your way up here. I find that going solo is generally faster than a party because one person who knows what he's doing will always be 10 times faster than the 4 people who don't know what they're doing. But, of course, if everyone knows what they're doing, then more people is definitely better. Keyword being if. Okay, so we're going to attempt the same thing. It's not, as you can see, it's definitely not as bad as it was before. but it's best to have full PP anyways. Gun this motherfucker down. Keep in mind, I'm not sure if this was corrected, but there is a bug where if you are a sword hero, you can slash through this barrier and ignite these bombs. So be very careful. This does not necessarily guarantee that a sword will not blow you the fuck up. So be careful. I've tested it with guns. You're safe. But with swords, it's blown me the fuck up through the barrier. And that was simultaneously funny and not funny at the same time. There will be no words here. Keep reloading. Here's a tip. When you're on the ground, reload while you're jumping. Because you can do that shit. Gotta go fast. Be like Sega and go Sonic. Go fast. Boom, you're done. Everything's safe. No more problems. Once this jump pad appears, everything is safe. No problems. You all can relax. Any questions? Was anything unclear? Okay, I'm going to take the silence as everything is clear. So I'm going to go ahead and proceed. Obviously, Dark Blast rules apply. Don't Dark Blast before until you get to the next area. Otherwise, you will lose your Dark Blast and have fun. So we're going to go ahead and test the confines. So first of all, we spawn here. So it's safe to say that these four corners, but the second you step out, here we go. Yeah! I hate it when people call you when you're in the middle of a stream, and they're just going to scream louder and louder. I'm just going to hurry up then. Okay, that's done. You don't have to kill these things. By the time you kill Tranmizer, they're all just going to run away. But I leave no prisoners, so fuck them. And yeah. So that's how to do Lilipa properly solo. I will upload this to my YouTube channel, and then I will provide the YouTube channel. We will take a short break. About what time will the switches... Sorry, 1 second. Bad time right now. What is it? I'm sorry, but it's a bad time. Okay, give me 1 second. Just 1 second. Fuck. Hey, give me about 30 seconds. I'll be back. Yeah. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. Alright, but what time will the switches... Okay, so here's the deal. I haven't actually done thorough testing as to how much time it will take before the switches die. But when they do, they're gone. They disappear. As you saw, they vanish on the first run. So you have a very limited amount of time. Just get there as fast as possible. I can't give you a precise amount, but basically, if you're in a party and you guys just don't have the timing, or you guys don't feel comfortable about the timing or whatever, then basically wait till you see the person. Hold on. I can't go. Hold on. Let me just load up the mini map again, and I'll use my mouse to. Actually, yeah. So I'll do this. I'll open up the map. Okay, can I actually like load up the map here? No, it's not this. It's no. Okay, there we go. I can't remember what my map thing is. Is it this? Is it this? What's my map? I can't remember what the map is. Here we go. Okay. Oh, shit. Okay. Well, I'll have to do it again. So I'll do it really quickly. So I'll do it one more time without instructions. TMG Hero is the absolute best possible class to do with this. Double jump is so nice. If you want to learn how to target, just look at shit. That's how you target with the photon blast. Just look at it. Okay, so when I get to area 2, I'm gonna reveal the map, and then I'm gonna basically do I'm gonna show you guys exactly what to do on the map, so that when you're looking at the mini map, you won't be confused. As you can see, Twin Machine Gun Hero makes this just a lot easier, a lot faster. Specifically because you can just stand in the middle of the map and you can pretty much kill everything with your normal attack. Well, on higher difficulties you might need a bit more, but yeah. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and reveal the entire map. And then after I reveal the map, I'll show you what to do once, should the party fuck up. So this is what what I'm doing right now is what you do if you're not a hero. This is what so if you fuck up, you gotta kill everything here, kill everything there, and you're fine. The gates have opened. Oh no, they haven't. There we go. Gates are opened. At lower levels, that will do a fuck ton of damage if you don't have decent units. So be careful of that. Past those. So you can go here, because both of those, they stop halfway and then they go back. See this? We can't shoot through the barrier, so we're going to have to take this thing out. This thing shows up, kill it. Okay, the map is almost completely revealed. Actually, no, it's sufficiently revealed. Okay, so now I'm going to start with my explanation on everything. Okay, so right now, a dot right here. This is where the switch is, where I'm currently at. The second switch is over here, and the final switches are right here. The ones that need to be activated in timely sequence. So once you see a dot here and a dot here, it's safe to assume that they're on the switch. So at this point, the dot here can start moving forward. the dot here can start moving towards this way, and whoever is standing by here can go ahead and hit these two. Now, if you're solo, you gotta click this, go up here, go here, go down here, but instead of instead of like climbing up the stairs to go like here, because you normally you'd have to go like up here and then over there. If you're able to stick to the sky, you can just go whoosh and go straight through, and this will allow you to save a bunch of time. At this point, you're gonna have to reload a lot here because you're gonna have to go all the way here, all the way there to hit the switch, and then you're gonna have to come all the way back. But you do have enough time to do that. So yeah, first switch is here. If you're going solo, you got to go from here all the way to there and then to here. If you're in a party, you just got to go here. And then once you go here, the person who's here, their job is done. They don't have to do anything else. There's a person, the person who's got to go here doesn't have to do. If you're only two people, then this person has more work to do. He's got to go all the way here, go down here, hit the two switches there, and then you guys are both fine. If you guys are three, then and you're going towards, and you're all going here, then the third person will stand here and wait. Wait for the two switches to just spawn, to appear. Once they do, he's got to hit them both, and then the launch pad will appear around here. And at that point, it's just a matter of going to fight the boss and everyone just reconvening towards the finish line. So the people who are absolutely have zero confidence in their ability to do this section will wait here, where my will wait here, C6. They will wait here. The person who is fast but not the best in a party will go to C3. The fastest and strongest will go to E2, and the leftover will go to E3, and we'll wait there. So that's basically the gist of it. If you mess up, the person who goes north has to do a lot more work, because everything forward, you'll have to go here, and you'll have to do a bunch of stuff here, and then go here. But in order to even unlock this section, the person who went north will have to go all the way back here, because this part is locked by a white barrier, and you cannot open white barriers no matter what. So you gotta go all the way back here, kill everything here, and then there's stuff over here. There's a bunch of switches that you gotta click. So it's a lot of work for nothing. So once you go back here, there's like a switch here and a switch like there or something, and then you gotta go all the way up here. This part is gonna be hell because there are lasers everywhere, and then there's like a switch in the middle that will unlock this gate. You gotta go here. There are lasers everywhere. There's a path. Then you gotta go a little bit further to hit a laser, to hit a thing here, just kind of mostly like this, and then there's like one over here as well. And then once you do that, you get to go to the front. So the biggest pain is that there are lasers everywhere from this point on. So try not to mess up. If you do, I'm not even gonna redo this. I'm gonna stop pretty much here. But come back to this section, this portion of the video, and think about what I told you. So if you mess up, there's a white barrier here. You can't simply come here. It won't let you. So you're gonna waste time. You gotta go up here. You gotta go here. You gotta go back basically the way you came, but instead of going down here, you're gonna keep going. You're gonna have to deal with like a little bit of resistance, a little bit of lasers, nothing too major, but it can still be a pain. Since remember, you are still solo. Like this part, you're one person, so you gotta make sure that you are at least strong and fast enough to just breeze through this. Obviously, you're never gonna do this on SH. If you're doing this on SH, you're a masochist, and you have no sympathy from me if you're doing this on SH and you fuck up. You have no sympathy from me. So do this if you're doing this on very hard and you're level 75 at least, then you have like nothing to worry about. You're absolutely fine. You can easily tear through this no matter what class you are. My go-to class to do this was Force, and I had no problems whatsoever. And I was a lightning specialist, so like there's no excuse. Like you can do this. So you get that. Like I said, there's two switches. There's like one on this side, one on this side. You go back. That will unlock. That will let the other 3 players go forth. There are a ton of lasers here, which you must avoid. There's a switch, I think, here. Then that will allow you to unlock the gate here. You go forward. There's a bunch of lasers similar. I think it's similar in style to the ones over here. You go for it there. You go past there, and then once you go past there, it's a similar section to the one over here. You'll find a little section just like that up here around A1 or 1A or 1B. Can't remember exactly, but somewhere around there, maybe even like here. There's a switch there. There's a switch around here, and then the remaining players must go up, and that will take them to a teleporter that will bring. Or no, actually no, that's where it goes. So this teleporter over here brings them over here. So this is the shortcut. This is the initial shortcut, and the long way requires you to go and then do that. So avoid doing the long way, if at all possible. That being said, the map is gone. We can go ahead and get the hell out of this. So that's that. I'm gonna do Nabirius. I'm gonna do Nab2 just to quickly show you guys how the shortcuts work there. That one's a lot simpler than Lilipa. And these are more of just like tricks to help it go by faster, not necessarily important. You don't necessarily have to do that, but if you do, it'll make your life a bit easier. Especially for this trick, ideally, if you're solo, you don't need to rely on the majority of these tricks. But if you have at least 2 players, they will definitely speed up your game time. So we're going to go ahead, get our boost, because we're doing very hard. The more damage we put out, the better. If you have a team with a team tree that's invested in attack, that's also a good idea to go for, because, you know, the more damage you do, the faster everything goes. So the first trick comes up here. This part is absolutely essential. You cannot proceed without doing this. So first things first, there are 2 switches here. One there, one here. Once you get close to this mountain, mobs will spawn. So one player goes here, the other player goes to the other side. The player that goes here then moves to this section of the forest. There's another switch, which they must press. Once they press this, their job is done, and they will go towards that purple gate right there. If you're riding solo, you must do both parts. So the second player will run up this way and click this switch. Once they do that, they go towards this section of the woods. And then they hit this switch right here. Once they do that, the people who are waiting at the purple gate will now be able to proceed. So if you're in a party of 4, then the other 2 players, they just wait at the gate, and then they start ragging on mobs the second it comes down. So the only 2 mobs that you really need to kill are, for this next trick to work, is the Zaudon and the Udon. The rest, you can just like let them live. You don't care. You specifically need this gate unlocked, as well as this gate. Once these 2 gates are unlocked, you can proceed. If you got the double jump, fuck the stairs. The Zaudon is different from the other ones. The Zaudon has one guy chilling over here. So you're going to have to, like, make sure you don't forget about that. Otherwise, you're like, dude, what's going on? And, like, you can't move forward. That's the reason. Kill these. Double jump. Super. Face rape. Proceed. Kill the monkeys! Kill the monkeys! Bang, 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 bang. And then you're gonna get to the last area, which is the birds. Obligatory Family Guy reference. I mean, sort of. Okay, so once you've killed all the mobs, these little teleporters respawn. Alright, here's where the trick comes into play. So the second this boulder comes down, you now may go back. And you'll notice that you appear here. Why do you appear here? Because we altered the direction of the telepipe. We've also altered the direction of this telepipe too, and that'll take us to a place over here. What you gotta do here is you gotta mow the lawn, which you probably can't do with a gun. So once you mow the lawn, you'll reveal a switch. Most essential. You go here, but your job is not done. Generally, if you're two people, the second person will have gone this way, and he will do that, obviously, because, you know, naturally it takes time, takes off time. So you gotta cut every last strand of grass, thing. You gotta cut the thing. And now you can say, fuck these mobs. Because there are traps hidden everywhere here. So in the interest of, like, screw that, we're just going to proceed. Screw these guys. And you'll see that the path here and to that side are now both open. However, you have to hit both switch. You can't just hit one, which is kind of unfortunate, but yeah. So this is the shortcut for the first area. After that, kill Rockabur, and we can proceed. Here is just about the most complex part of this map. Once you're in this area, I highly suggest that you say north, west, or east, or like up, left, or right, to tell where you're going. If you are two players, then the person who goes up also goes right. If you are three players, each of you goes their separate ways. The person who goes center or right has to wait until the mobs spawn. He has to kill everything until the last rappy dies, and then he may proceed to go north. I'll go into a bit more detail on that in a second. But if you're only two people, then the person who goes center must also go right, because right is basically a freebie. The weakest player goes right, the fastest player goes left, and the strongest player goes north. So since I'm solo, I'm going to be doing all three, starting with center. But the thing is that, starting with right, sorry. So for right, you gotta hit the orange, the purple, and the green switch. So we're gonna go this, this, and this. So now that we do that, there's a little hole over here which we're gonna just like sandwich ourselves between. If you can dash, I would do so. It's a bit safer. Okay, your only job if you are solo, and I mean if you're in a party, is to do this. You click this, kill this thing, there we go, and if this motherfucker just so happens to get past the gate before it closes, kill him too. And then once the center guy has done his job, there will be a telepipe that appears, I think, around here, that will move you across the map. So I'm gonna open up the map. It will bring you like around here. So this way, it'll save a lot of time. Alternatively, if you're one person, you come back here and you start killing everything. So there are three rappies. So once you hear, that means you can move on. Okay. So at this point, you move forward. So the person that's going center kills all the rappies, kills everything. It sucks, but you gotta kill the rappies to move forward. And then he goes center. There will be one gulf here, one gulf there, one gulf there, and one gulf there. They don't necessarily spawn in that order. They spawn in a fixed order. They spawn like one after another. So basically, if you kill one, the other one will spawn. If you do this, basically, you'll kill them both. And if you do that, you'll kill them both. So do that. So at this point, you got to hit this switch. And once the middle guy hits this switch, everything falls into place. Sort of. for the most part. So now here's the left job. So basically the middle guy's job is to make sure that the gates are down. So if someone says yellow please, look for the yellow switch and hit it. Since we haven't hit either of them, we're gonna hit yellow and we're gonna hit blue, and that's for the left. So now we gotta be speed demons right now. Not really. I don't have my speed demon thing. I feel bad. So one appears here, one there, then here, then there. This time, I'm serious. That's why you have to be fast, because you got to do a bit of running around if you're not a hero. So you click that switch, absolutely mandatory. Once you're past here, you're safe. Sort of, don't forget the other switch. I'm going to go ahead and shoot this one up. And then the second switch is hidden behind this thing. So once you click that switch, like I said, the telepipe will appear, and then you will appear on the next area. This will allow you to kill as little as possible while retaining, while having a lot more time saved, and yeah, it's just more efficient. Ignore everything. And pray that you can, and the strongest, and the person who comes here, the person who went right will come here. So he should be, I mean, he doesn't have to be strong, but if he can kill everything here, fuck. Yes, okay, so we managed to click this thing before he came along. If he came along and he came too close, he would make this thing close up again, and you'd have to kill him. So try and kill those three things before he gets too close. If he gets too close, then it's like, okay, whatever, just kill him, but shouldn't have that problem. And honestly, if you're going right and you take the telepipe, you should be able to kill it before he even spawns. So at this point we go here. And then we go here. And we teleport, and then we've made it. So now we're in the final area. That's it. That's Nab2. Nice and simple. So at this point, you can either Dark Blast, or you can Photon Burst, or whatever, and you're done. That's crazy. I still don't have my thing. I don't think I've upgraded my thing in a while. I should do that. Alright, there we go. And that's just about it. There's one more. There's the Amduskia. But that one's a lot more straightforward. Do you guys want me to show you guys how to do the... So, at what point will the person in C6 move to the gate? Okay, well, basically... In that, well, I didn't get to see this before, but basically, when I was showing off the map and I showed you where the third player would stand to wait for the switches to pop up, and I showed you briefly where the launch pad appears. What you want to do at that point is basically you'll see it if you're waiting there. Open up your map, like the map that covers the screen, and the second you see something change, like you'll see like a bright blue dot towards the other end of the map, and once you see that, it's safe to move. That's when you can move. But honestly, the second you see the second player in place, like when you see him, he's in that tiny little square where the switch is. At that point, you can move, because the switch will last long enough. The switch lasts long enough for me to go from that end all the way to the other switch and all the way down to the two switches. So it will last long enough for you. It does give you room to play around. But the thing is that you cannot, there is no room for error. When you're going from one switch to the other, to the last two, there's no room for error. If you fuck up anything, if you triple laser, if you do something that isn't from point A to point B with no interruptions, you probably are gonna run out of time. So you gotta be like really fast, really precise, and you gotta be really safe. That being said, do you guys want me to show you how to do Amduskia, the first section of Amduskia? Because there are some things in there that are worth noting, that are worth mentioning, but it's not game breaking. Unless you're in a party and the the one of person who's the fastest does not click the switch, then he kind of fucks over the rest of the party. Entirely it's not entirely quest breaking, but it can be a little bit of a pain in the ass. But anyways, it's not that big of a deal. So Amduski is fine. Then in that case, I don't think there's anything else that's of particular consequence. I think everything else is pretty straightforward. Yeah, everything else is straightforward. So, I have my videos, I have my streams archived. So if there's something you weren't cleared on, you can either message me in game to ask, or you can just review it by watching this over again, and that should answer your questions. So with that being said, we are done. Thank you for joining the stream, and I hope it helps you out. Peace.